And now the last report in the first half of this session is on the session on science and technology levers, and we will hear from Luc Mane, and he's the Director General at the International Fertilizer Industry Association located in France.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I am using the slides for the simple reason that I want to pay tribute to my rapporteur, Bonnie McClafferty, for doing an excellent job in putting this together. So that's why I'm standing here upright and speaking to the slides. We had this morning an excellent slate of panelists, as you can see from the slides, and I stay within the 5 minutes, I'll briefly report on what transpired out of this meeting. First, we heard Lindsay Allen, who spoke on the need to supply all essential nutrients to every member of the household, and current interventions, as we know them, fill some gaps, but many are still remaining. And we need a platform based on food intake, to prioritize and evaluate how agriculture and nutrition strategies can be coordinated. We need field-friendly and affordable methods to measure nutritional status, especially for several micronutrients simultaneously. Howard Buey spoke on biofortification. He mentioned that micronutrient malnutrition is rising with rising food prices because the poor will preserve staple food consumption and sacrifice non-staple foods that are rich in micronutrients. And the Harvest Plus biofortified crops will provide iron, zinc, and vitamin A, and they are poised to be released in 7 countries by 2013. Biofortification is a targeted, cost-effective, and rural-based intervention that complements others. Dino Keating from the World Vegetable Center made a plea for greater investment in nutrient-dense vegetables, which will have a rapid and effective payoff. The nutrition of young women prior to pregnancy is essential, and small plot agriculture should be given greater prominence if nutrition-related MDGs are to be achieved. Lloyd LePage spoke on the need for a partnership revolution to provide solutions to today's and future complex problems in order to access the best research, knowledge, and technologies. We must break down the silos and reach across agriculture, health, and nutrition, public and private sectors, and even between institutions. And long-term commitments from donors and accountability from R&D are required. And finally, we had Siwam Sanghi, who spoke on policy, and he said that good policy can lead to the ultimate success and impact of science and technology innovation and create a favorable environment for technology to make a difference. It can also help in targeting innovations more successfully, and much focus is on science and technology that relates to the production side. But the reproductive domain of the household, for instance, the ability of women to care for children, is also in need of science and technology and good policy interventions. Now, following the interventions, we had a question and answer session, and I cannot mention all the questions and answers that were given. They were very interesting, but I just chose, out of the many questions, I chose 3 that are very relevant. First of all, when we move toward nutrition intervention strategies that focus on food, is there enough evidence that there is adequate bioavailability through the processing and consumption? Secondly, a very strong observation was made that agricultural research is underfunded. And since it has started to contribute to nutrition and health, it is felt that both these sectors need to invest in agricultural research. And finally, the question was raised, where are the parameters that should be used to measure and monitor impacts? Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Luc, and congratulations. This is indeed the first PowerPoint presentation that I've seen that stayed within 5 minutes. So if I may make one observation, I think all these presentations have shown that the risk that the organizers have engaged in by cutting up the issues in the way they have done has really worked. It has, we have had some very productive and solution-oriented reports here. And I like that because I'm from a ministry, so I'm a bureaucrat. And in our organization, we have eliminated the word problem. We don't have any problems. We have challenges. And then, of course, we talk about solutions. So I'm very much heartened by these focus on solutions. Now we go to the second part, the regional sessions, parallel sessions. And I invite first the presentation from South Asia. And it will be presented by Sultan Hafiz Rahman. He's the Director General of the South Asia Department at the Asian Development Bank. And he's asked to be able to present first because he has to leave in a few minutes. So please, it's floor.
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. The South Asia session went very well, excellent set of presentations. Let me just quickly share with you the key points that were made. It started with the caution that transplanting models from one country to another should not be something of a common practice, that a great deal of testing and adaptation is necessary before these transplantations might be made. This caution, of course, also means that international best practices, the use of these practices are somewhat called into questions. The problems and challenges to growth of agriculture and improvement in nutrition are well known. Indian agriculture needed a resurgence to ensure it plays its due role in the economy. At present, it presents a biggest downside risk to overall GDP growth of India. The policymakers must focus on many readily available recommendations. And one of the presentations focused on a concise set of 6 points, 6-point recommendations. Two of these emphasized the importance of public investment in crowding in rather than crowding out private investment. And the second underscored the need for food price subsidies, largely because of the skewness in the consumption patterns. It was also pointed out in the case of Nepal that it had transited from being a food surplus economy to becoming a food deficit one. In fact, this happened just over the past decade. It was suggested that widespread child nutrition in Nepal was perhaps best addressed through evidence-based approaches. The point was also made that for Sri Lanka, that the existence of multiple agencies in the agriculture sector results in lack of coordination and impedes agricultural performance. Most recently, empirical evidence from Sri Lanka suggests that malnutrition is rising. This is an interesting point because Sri Lanka is the highest per capita income country in South Asia and also has the best social indicators. Interesting point also made with regards to Sri Lanka that income increases alone do not necessarily improve nutrition, and that without health and education awareness, it would be difficult to bring down malnutrition. The last presentation came from a very well-known researcher of the region, and of course now part of the Prime Minister's Economic Advisory Council, Professor Vyas. And he noted some bright lights in the fight against poverty in India, one of which being that widespread and chronic hunger was largely eliminated in India. But nevertheless, he cited that India's performance, despite the strong growth over 2 decades, its performance in reducing widespread malnutrition has remained very weak. And that Indian public policy attention was not focused enough on trying to boost agricultural production. He also pointed out the single sort of the focus on, in agriculture policy on cereal production, which meant the loss of other more nutritious crops from the farmer's basket of production. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. And now we hear the report from the Africa session. And the report is given to us by Rhoda Pease Tumusime. She is the Commissioner for Rural Economy and Agriculture with the Commission of the African Union. Floor is yours.
Thank you, Chair. My group had good presentations from the panel, and also we had very good interventions from the floor. They looked at various issues from the continental perspective, regional economic community, and then also the country level. The issues which we saw coming out because our area was how do we do business differently, maybe how do we rethink through looking at the poor performance of the continent in relation to nutrition. Issues which were coming out to relate to one, for example, how is nutrition coordinated at the country level? Should we be looking at changing the structuring at the country level? Are the ministries related? Are they talking together? Are they speaking together? And who is in charge? Should we have a different agency to coordinate the issues of nutrition? So some discussions are also slated around that. Then another area which came out to, excuse me, which came out to which was outstanding was the issue of advocacy. Here, a number of discussions where the discussants were of the view that perhaps we are not understanding what nutrition is. Information is available, but is information being provided properly for the policymakers? Are they understanding the importance of nutrition at the country level? Because that's where really the players are. Are the communities involved properly? Since the communities, that's where things should happen. So these issues were discussed rather adequately. And we looked at how could these ones be sorted out. For example, the issue of education came out that we need to step up education, especially for girls, and also universal education, so that I think a society which is well educated can have a really better understanding of the issues of nutrition. A success story, an example of Sri Lanka was, for example, highlighted that perhaps we need to learn from what has happened somewhere else. Then we also looked at what else is going to be done. For example, we have what we call a Continental Food and Nutrition Security Day. What are the issues which should be focused on? Here, of course, is to step up advocacy. Is the research which is being undertaken really looking at the quality of information? Are we having good surveillance system at the country level? So the discussions were very, very rich, and we hope that at the end of the day, we should be able to have a real an improvement on the continent. Now, issues of funding came up, and I hear the chair of this session is saying that Germany has put in 3 billion. I hope part of that has gone to the Global Fund on Food Security, which also cascades into the programs at the country level. So funding was seen also as an important, maybe challenge in implementation of because nutrition not being well understood at the country level, it has not attracted government funding. And then looking at the issues of coordination at the country level, the plans are available, the programs are available, but then how come that things are not happening at the country level? So these are the issues and the challenges which were highlighted and underlined by my group. Thank you.